and all the suffering indigenous populations in the damnable zoological republic are set free. Chineke na nke pụrụ m ihe niile Chukwu okike abịa onye na-efe na aja aha nsọ ya mma mgbe niile. Onye ọbụla na ya na-achị eluigwe n'ụwa na-agba akaebe ịhụnanya gị na ebere gị amara gị n'ọmịiko gị ebe ndị gị na-eze ebede ngọzi. Anyị wee na-etoghị agbanyeghị atụmatụ ọjọọ niile nke ndị iro. Iwe nye anyị ndụ ala nke dị n'uwere n'ụbọchị nke taa. Anyị wee na-asị na ịja mma niile otu niile dịrị aha nsọ gị. Onye ọbụla anyị aka ike niile na ọ gbadara aka ya. Anyị wee na-akpọku gị na-asị gị na nke ọma anyị ga-ekele gị, nke ọjọọ ma anyị kelee gị. Anyị wee na-aja gị mma, wee na-eto gị, wee na-asọpụrụ gị n'isi ụmụ gị niile bụ ndị ikwu ndị wee ezi oku mgbe a kpọrọ ha ka ha wee chekwaa ala nsọ gị bụ Biafra onye nwe m na Chineke na ihe n'ikpere anyị nkwa na o mekataghị ka ndị iro wee were ala nsọ Biafra onye nwe m na Chineke na nke bi n'igwe. Agbanyeghị atụmatụ ọjọọ niile nke ndị iro ma ndị na-agba mgbagba ebe niile dị iche iche onye nwe m na Chineke nna n'ihere bụ nke ndị dị etu a n'ụbọchị nke taa. Anyị wee na-eto gị, wee na-asị onye nwe anyị na Chineke nna nke pụrụ m ihe niile, onye ọbụla anyị a na-azọpụta, onye ọbụ naanị ya bụ okwu ya niile bụ ihe na amen. Anyị wee na-asị ezi ebube dị ngọzi na ọtụtụ na ịja mma na nsọpụrụ site n'ebighị ebi ma ruo n'ebighị ebi. Ise ise ise.
So my broadcast today, I want to talk about the situation that we are in, the hypocrisy of the people in the Janjaweed country, the hypocrisy in the Western world, the hypocrisy against the Biafran people. The world, the whole world are hypocrites. They are just hypocrites everywhere. Hypocrites in Biafra land, hypocrites in the Janjaweed country, hypocrites all over the world. In the Western world, we have hypocrites everywhere. Hypocrites against hypocrisy against Biafran people. A lot of hypocrisy against Biafran people. I'm saying this because of what is happening in the world today. If you look at the world, go to their media today, what you are seeing in the media where they're showing is the invasion of Ukraine. Everybody is commenting on the invasion of Ukraine. Everybody is talking about the attack of Ukraine. Everybody is talking about Ukraine, Ukraine, Ukraine. I'm not happy that people in Ukraine are facing the condition they are facing. I'm not happy. The individual, the ordinary people in Ukraine, I'm in solidarity with them. I'm in solidarity with them and I feel their pain also. But at the same time, why is it that these people cannot speak about the plight of the Biafran people the same way they are talking about the Western countries? When it has to do with these Westerners, when it has to do with the whites, you see the whole world, they will rally around. All the conventional media will focus their attention on the situation. But let me tell you, Biafran people are facing a much more terrible situation than Ukraine. Biafran people, we are facing a more terrible situation than Ukraine. In Biafran land, more people are being killed than Ukraine. Biafran land have been invaded. Biafran land was invaded by the Fulani Caliphate with the help of British. That same Britain today that is talking against Russia, that same Britain that today is giving sanction to Russia, the same United States that is giving sanction to Russia, they are the ones supporting the Fulani Caliphate against the Biafra people. This is total hypocrisy. Hypocrites everywhere. In Biafra land, we have been bombed. Biafran people were bombed. People saw it on video. The homes of Biafra people were burnt down. You saw the Janjaweed military with their weapon coming in Biafra land to destroy life and take lives. Every one of us saw it on video. But there was no outrage in the world. There was no outrage. Even in that very Fulani Caliphate, even in that very contraption called Nigeria, in that contraption called Nigeria, you see most of their celebrities. Even celebrities from Biafra land. You see them coming out to talk about Ukraine. They are talking about the invasion of Ukraine. You see the people in that contraption called how hypocrisy is killing all of them. Hypocrites everywhere. You see them on their platform talking about Ukraine, Ukraine, Ukraine. But in their own contraption called Nigeria, Biafran land has been invaded. Biafran land was invaded. The Janjaweed invaded the Biafran land, and many people are losing their life. Even as you're watching this video, Biafran people are still losing their life. Even as you're watching this video, they are still bombing Biafran people. They are still kidnapping Biafrans. They are still taking the life of Biafran people. But nobody is talking about it. The international media is not talking about it. Their local media is not talking about it. It's only on the social media we come and cry and cry and cry and shout, and they pretend they are not hearing it. But today, you see what is happening in Ukraine. I say it again. I'm not happy that Ukraine people are facing what they are facing, the challenges they are facing. I'm in solidarity with them. I feel their pain also. Because we are going through the same thing. I feel their pain. I know what they're going through. But why is it that people will not have a reaction the same way they're having in Ukraine? Why wouldn't they have the same reaction against Biafra in Biafra issue? Ask yourself why. Even when all the interest they have is in Biafra land, all the resources they want to steal from Nigeria, that thing that make them to be talking about one Nigeria, they are all in Biafra land. But yet, none of them can come out openly and begin to speak about the invasion of Biafra land. The invasion of Biafra land. They have invaded our land. They drove us away from our land. They took away our mineral resources. They made our land so infertile. The people who are fishing cannot fish. The people who are farming cannot farm. It wasn't enough. They are coming to our homes to burn our houses. They burned the houses of Biafran people. Homes of Biafran people are being burned. Biafran people are being kidnapped, taken to the north. Not because they were fighting anybody. Not because they were seen with armed ammunition. Not because they kidnapped anybody. Not because they were asking for ransom. Only because they were identified as Biafran people. They couldn't stop there. Today they have outlawed our traditional dress. You can no longer wear Isiago. Isiago has become something that is outlawed. This is the hypocrisy of the West. Look at our Supreme Lamazan Nandekano, a British citizen who was kidnapped from Kenya and rendition to Nigeria. Kidnapped from Kenya, rendition to Nigeria. After so many torture. Even today, as you're watching the video, Martin Nandekano is still going through torture. On 3 occasions, they have not allowed any visit to him. Britain doesn't see anything wrong with that. There's no uproar from the West. United States is not talking about it. But look at the situation of Ukraine. Russia is trying to invade Ukraine. There was an uproar. It was a daily broadcast. People were making broadcasts on a daily basis. International community, we are filming it there, we are showing it to the world. Even the Janjaweed country, even conventional media in Nigeria, we are showing what is happening in Ukraine. But what is happening in Biafra land, the life that we are losing in Biafra land, nobody is televising it, nobody is showing it to the world. The world are keeping silent as if they are not seeing what is happening. An invasion that happened before the whole people. The number of people that have lied in Biafra land this year alone is more than what they have killed in Ukraine. So many Biafran people are still in captivity. Our homes were destroyed. Everyone saw when the plane was on the top, shooting to innocent people. Up to today, the Janjaweed military are still in Biafra land, occupying places. What crime have we committed? Nobody is talking about it. There's no uproar, simply because we are blacks. Simply because it is about Biafra. Simply because it is Biafra. Nobody wants to talk about it. But today, the issue of Ukraine have become the order of the day. Everybody is shouting about the situation of Ukraine. The whole world is talking. CNN is talking about it. BBC is broadcasting about it 24 hours. Agency is speaking about it. But the Biafran land have been invaded by Britain. Biafran land was invaded by Britain using the Fulani Caliphate. Nobody was speaking. They saw it as something that is right. They didn't see it as something that is wrong. They didn't see it as something that is wrong. But today you see every one of them calling Russia a name. Calling on Russia. Even the situation of Russia, from the information that we are gathering, that even Ukraine themselves are stopping some people who want to have their freedom from having their freedom. Some section of Ukraine that want to have their independence, they are stopping them. And that was the excuse that Russia used to come and protect those people. Russia came in to protect those people, using that excuse to invade Ukraine. Because Ukraine refused those people referendum. Just like the Janjaweed have refused us referendum. You see a similar situation. A similar situation, but the difference that one is happening in Africa, one is happening in Europe. The one that is happening in Europe, everybody is focused on there, everybody is showing it. The whole world is talking about it. Everybody is talking about the issue of Ukraine. But in Biafran land, in the country called Nigeria, they have invaded Biafran land. Many lives lost. Properties destroyed. Even as you're watching the video, lives have still been lost. Every single mineral resources we have in Biafran land have been taken away from us. But nobody is talking about it. The world didn't see that as a crime. There was no outrage in the world when Biafran people were killed. There's no outrage in the world. The way Biafran land had been invaded, no outrage. They saw it as something that is normal. Because we are the people who deserve to die. This is the hypocrisy in the world. A lot of hypocrisy. Hypocrisy. Because of their selfish interest, they do not want to speak about relevant things. Because of their own interest. Today, when you see them talking about the invasion of Russia, you will see they will look innocent. You see Britain superheading, attacking Russia for invading Ukraine. You see them looking innocent. United States will be outraged. You see them looking, but before their own very eyes, Biafra land has been invaded. Innocent lives lost. Innocent life lost on daily basis. Innocent life lost, and people are losing their life on daily basis. Nobody is saying anything. They feel it's okay. People just feel it's all right. But when it happens in Europe, everybody will come out and begin to shout on top of their voices. You see why everybody have to wake up and know that nobody will free you. Nobody will give you freedom. Freedom is not given. You will take your freedom. It is you and I that will take our freedom. With what is happening in the world, with the kind of things that is happening in the world, that will show you that nobody is going to give you your freedom. Nobody is going to fight for you. You have to fight for yourself. You have to fight for yourself. Mainly those of us who are Africans, those of us who are Biafrans, we have to fight for ourselves and take our freedom. The international communities don't care about us. They will not look into our matter. They don't even want to hear it. You heard in one of the brokers of Mazen Nanekano say when he went to United Nations to report the case of Biafra, that when he went to an office to discuss the case of Biafra with certain people, that somebody rose up and was telling him that he doesn't know why each time the issue of Biafra is raised in United Nations, people will stand up and walk away. Then each time the issue of Biafra is raised in United Nations, everybody will stand up and walk away. Ask me why. Is it because Biafrans are not dying? Is it because we are lying? Is it because we are not human? It's just because of their selfish interest. It is because of the interest of Britain. They want to make sure that the contraption called Nigeria, the company that they established called Nigeria, that company will continue to exist, continue to fund them. They want to make sure that that company will continue to fund UK. That is why they don't want to hear the report of Biafran people. That is why their own citizen, Mazen Nandekano, a Biafran and a British citizen, was kidnapped while he traveled with British passport, and Britain is not saying anything about it. Today he's been tortured. He's been tortured in DSS, in the contraption called Nigeria. Britain is not saying anything about it. Every of his rights have been denied, including changing of his clothes and visits. They have all been shot. The door has been shut against Mazen Nandekano, and nobody's talking about it. Today, every eye is focused on Ukraine. Go to all the media. They are talking about Ukraine, including their conventional media in the contraption called Nigeria. They are talking about Ukraine. They are busy commenting about Ukraine. But the Ukraine behind their door, Ukraine in their backyard. There is a Ukraine in their backyard. They are not talking about it. There has been a people that have suffered worse than Ukraine. Nobody's talking about it. We fought our war when the time came. We fought for 3 good years. And we lost more than 5 million Biafrans. Mainly children. We are starved to death. Women were killed. Not soldiers. Women, children were murdered. More than 5 million Biafrans lost their life. And that wasn't the end. We thought that the war is over. The war is not over. They continue fighting us up to date. If you check the number of Biafran have been killed from the civil war up to now, it's more than 5 million. They are still killing us. Anytime there is a riot in the north, they are facing the Biafran people. Anytime there's a problem in the west, they face the Biafran people. Whatever happens anywhere, Biafran people are the people that are going to be killed. This is what they have been doing every now and again. Today, Biafran land have been openly invaded. Openly. Terrorist group were released in Biafran land to take the life of innocent people. Terrorist group in uniform sent to Biafran land. As you're watching me, our brothers and sisters are losing their life. As you're watching the video, so many of our brothers and sisters have been abducted. Some of them are abducted and transferred to the north. There's no uproar everywhere. Nobody is crying for them. Nobody is speaking on their behalf. Nobody whatsoever is speaking on their behalf. Everybody is going about their business as if nothing happens. People are doing what they are doing as if it's okay. How can it be okay? How can it be okay? Hypocrisy of the world is so much. The hypocrisy in this world, it is so much. It is so much. That is why when we are calling for Biafran people to free themselves, Biafran people, it is you and you alone that will free yourself. Nobody will give you your freedom in a platter of gold. Do not hope in the court of your oppressor. Don't hold in the cup of your oppressor. That is why when you see somebody talking about this, their useless political solution, there will be no political solution anywhere to favor a Biafran person. There will not be anyone. The only solution that will set Biafra free and give us our freedom is the massive civil disobedience we're going to do by ourselves. Civil reaction that we're going to do. Massive civil disobedience. Let Biafran people rise up and save themselves. Biafran people, we are the ones that are going to save ourselves. If we are not ready, we cannot be able to get it. And let me tell you, if you think it's an easy task, it is not an easy task. To get your freedom from the enemy is not easy. You have to pay a price. Every Biafran have to be ready to pay a price. There must be a sacrifice that maybe already our Biafran brothers and sisters in the country called Nigeria, our brothers and sisters in Biafran land, they are paying a lot of price. I applaud them. I adore them. And I pray that Chukwu Okike will continue to prosper them, guide and protect every Biafran man in Biafran land. I know what they are facing. I can feel their pain. I can feel their agony. They are trying a lot. Against all odds, our Biafran people in Biafran land, they are trying on the ground. Fighting from all corners. Doing the needful. Against all odds. Against all the blackmail. Against all the propaganda. Against all the threat. Still, Biafran people are paying sacrifice in Biafran land. I say, may Chukwu Okike never disappoint any one of us. As many as are standing strong, fighting up to today, Chukwu Okike will continue to prosper you. Chukwu Okike will continue to never give up. Never give up. We are getting to the end of the tunnel, and there is light at the end of the tunnel. There will be light. Don't give up. Everybody in Biafran land, in the old southeastern region, if you are from the south, the present southeast, and the lower Benue, we Biafran people have to identify ourselves and fight for our common interests. For those people who are still busy gossiping, there are some people who are busy gossiping, busy speaking about irrelevant things, busy talking about against their own brothers and sisters. Enough is enough. It is not time to gossip. It is not time to be looking down on people. Some of them, instead of identifying themselves as a Biafra, you are busy giving yourself names, name calling, answering different, using the same language the Janjaweed is using. Divide and rule. It was this division of names that Janjaweed used to divide Biafran people. The Janjaweed brought different kinds of names from different kind of angle. They made us to see ourselves as different people. Even when we ourselves know that we are from one source, from one ancestral parents. Every Biafran person from the old southeastern region, the present south, and the southeast with the lower Benue, we have one ancestral parents. Instead of us identifying yourself with that single name that unites every one of us, Biafran, some people are busy changing their name. Some people are busy identifying themselves with their location. Some people are busy talking against their own brother. You see some people will be in their platform. Instead of speaking up for Biafra, they will be talking against Biafra people. You see some identifying themselves as people from the coastal region. Some identify themselves as people from Ejo. Some identify themselves as people from Ejo. Some identify themselves only as people from Igbo land. Why must you begin to attach all this attachment to your names? It is enough for us to answer Biafra. Answering Biafra alone can make us unite together and fight a common interest. By the time we are able to get the Biafra as we are fighting, when we get our freedom, then everybody can now be able to answer the name that you want to answer. Mazen Nanikan have said it, that there is no minority in Biafra land, that we are all equal. It doesn't matter your population. We are all equal people, and every nation in Biafra will stand on their own when the time comes. Every nation will be on their own. Why don't you stop the propaganda, what is sort of blackmail, and now focus on our common interest, which is freedom? Let us free ourselves as Biafrans, then we can come back home. Then we go to our various homes and answer whatever they want to answer. Why do you have to demonize people because of one person? You see some people, maybe one Ijaw man committed an offense, or one Igbo man committed an offense. Instead of you facing that very person that committed offense, you begin to generalize. You begin to generalize. You blackmail the whole Igbo people and paint them evil. One Ijaw man will commit an offense. You blackmail the whole Ijaw people and paint them evil. One Edo Biafran will commit an offense. You generalize everybody and paint them evil. And that thing now is bringing a division. That very language of the Janjaweed is bringing division in the struggle. Some of them, they will be busy using the same language the Janjaweed is using. You see some of them, they will still using that language of saying that the Igbos are betrayers. Igbos are betrayers. How can you be speaking on such manner of the Janjaweed? There are betrayers everywhere. There are sellouts everywhere. There are good people and bad people everywhere. If you see somebody who is a betrayer, why don't you identify that person and call the person by his or her name? Why must you attach the tribe to the name? Why must you attach the tribe to the name? When you begin to demonize the whole Igbos because of one particular person, are you not the same thing with the Janjaweed? Are you not playing the role of the caliphate? You are generalizing, trying to demonize the whole Igbos because of one single person. You are just playing the card of the caliphate. If you are trying to demonize the whole Ijaw people because of one person, you are just playing the card of the caliphate. You try to demonize the Edo Biafrans because of one person, you are playing the card of the caliphate. And out of your ignorance, out of your, how can I say, emotion, you can't control your emotion. One person will commit an offense, you use because of the offense of one person and condemn a whole generation. It means you are just behaving the same way the caliphate are behaving. The same way. You call the Igbos saboteur. No matter how you bring them down and call the Igbos saboteur, there is no doubt that as Biafran struggle stands today, it is still that same Igbo people that are holding the Biafran struggle. As the Biafran struggle is today, it is still that same Igbo people that are paying the highest price. The same Igbo people that you are calling names, they are still the same people paying the highest price. They are still the same people carrying the flag of Biafra. They are still the people who are holding the struggle, making it work. They are still the people holding the flag. Our Supreme Namazen Nanikan is an Igbo man. So, why don't you identify a saboteur by his or her name and I call the person out? Call the person out. Let us stop demonizing ourselves. Let us stop demonizing ourselves. Let us stop generalizing. There are good people everywhere and there are bad people everywhere. There are good people everywhere. There are bad people everywhere. Learn to identify yourself as a Biafran person. Keep your tribe aside. Keep everything aside. Identify yourself as a Biafran person. When we have succeeded in getting the freedom that we are searching for, then we can go back home. We go back home. Now we begin to stay in our region. We begin to have the nation that we want to have. That is what Mazen Nanakan said. Mazen Nanakan said that when Biafra come, that every single nation in Biafra land will stand on their own. It doesn't mean even if you are 5 people. Even if you are 5 people, you will stand as your own nation. By then, any name you want to answer, you can answer your name. Answer your name. You can't force anybody to give you a name. You can't force anybody to answer a name with you. Any name you want to answer, it is just left for you. Every confusion you are seeing today, most of them are not confusion. Most questions people are asking today, they are questions that Mazen Nanakan have answered in the past. All the questions you are asking today, Mazen Nanakan have answered every one of the questions. The only problem we had is some of us are not good students of Mazen Nanakan. And some of us, we are not listening to his broadcast. I will urge everybody that is watching this video, please share this video to every platform. Share this video in your WhatsApp group, in your family group, anywhere you belong, share this video. And I will urge you, please take out your time to watch the old broadcast of Mazen Nanakan. Anyone you can lay your hand upon, go and listen to it carefully. You must learn 1 or 2 things from it. Don't say it's an old broadcast. Don't see the message of Mazen Nanakan and you say it's an old broadcast. Every message of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is new every morning. And each time you listen to it, it's just like a epistle of the Bible. Messages of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu are just like a epistle of the Bible. Each time you read any book of the Bible, you will get a new interpretation and it will teach you something. It doesn't matter how old it is. It will teach you something. That is how the message of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is. Every single minute you listen to a message of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, you will learn a new thing in that message. Any single day you listen to message of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, you must learn one new thing that you go home with. That is why I urge everybody, make out time at least in a day to listen to message of Mazen Nnamdi. His messages are so long. They are long. They are very long. Sometimes you cannot be able to finish. You can start in the middle. You can start just at, even if it is 10 minutes every day. Just make sure you listen to one of his broadcasts. You will learn something. You will learn something. And if you're doing that, you will not be confused. You won't be saying who is doing the right thing and who is not doing the right thing. You won't be confused who to follow and who not to follow. Because every single question you are asking today, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu have answered all the questions long time ago. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu have answered all the questions long time ago. But because we are not good students, that is why we are still asking questions that will have the answers in our hand. Just like people are saying, what are we going to do? In this situation that we are in now, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu saw the situation coming. He saw it coming. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu knew about it. And he told us what to do when we go to this station. He told us what to do. He told us what to do when it comes to the issue of political solution. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu told us, do not believe the politicians. Don't believe them. Don't ever believe a politician. If they do something right, praise them. But don't believe them. Don't follow what they are doing. If they do something right, you can praise them. But don't follow them and don't believe whatever they are promising you until they do it. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu told us also that if we will look for him and we did not see him, that we should make sure we cripple the zoo. He said it. That if we look for him, we didn't see him, we should cripple the zoo. Today, how have we crippled the zoo? Today, how have you and I burned down the zoo? We cannot say Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Have we burned down the zoo? Have we done anything to make the zoo feel pain? Have we done anything since Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped to make the zoo feel pain? Instead, we are busy discouraging people. When you want to do something, they say, no, don't do it. They will call you a terrorist. Don't do this. But you remember, even when people who are scared of being called a terrorist, Mazen Nnamdi Kanu said it in his broadcast that you should not be scared of being called a terrorist. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu told us that we should never be scared of being called a terrorist. Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe was called a terrorist. Awolowo was called a terrorist. Mandela was called a terrorist. Many activists in the world were called terrorists. Even Martin Luther King was called a terrorist. So Mazen Nnamdi Kanu said it to us, that we should not be scared of being called terrorists. Don't be scared. As long as you know you are standing on the truth and doing the right thing. And you are pursuing your freedom. Self-defense is your right. Defend yourself. International law supports self-defense. African chartered law supports self-defense. Nigerian law itself supports self-defense. So, why will anybody be discouraging from that? Civil disobedience also is a legitimate way of people showing their grievances on what is happening. Civil disobedience, it is a legitimate way of people showing their grievances when they have a problem. That is it. Legitimate way of showing grievances is civil disobedience. When you embark on civil disobedience, it is a legitimate way of showing your grievances. Go and check people who have protested in the past. Go and check people who have fought for their freedom in the past. Each one of them engaged in civil disobedience in one time or the other. In one time or the other. It is legitimate. Civil disobedience is legitimate. That is how you can be able to bring government to their knees and they will listen to you. And that is why we are calling for civil disobedience. But when you talk about it, some people will come and begin to discourage others. These are things, these are questions that Mazen Nnamdi Kanu have answered. Up to today, you see some people say, don't do this, they will call you terrorists. Don't do this and don't do that, they will call you terrorists. Don't do this, don't do that, they will call you terrorists. But Mazen Nnamdi Kanu told us, don't be afraid of being called a terrorist. Don't be afraid. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu said, don't be afraid of being called a terrorist. Dr. Nnamdi Azikiwe was called a terrorist upon how peaceful he was. He was called a terrorist. Awolowo was called a terrorist. Mandela, of all people that they are celebrating today, he was called a terrorist. Martin Luther King was called a terrorist. So many other activists in the world, we are called terrorists. But at the end of the day, they were celebrated. They fought and fought and fought and they liberated their people. So why must you be scared of being called a terrorist? And because of that, you don't want to protect yourself. Because of that, you don't want to do the right thing. Mazen Nanakano said, whenever we look for him and we don't see him, we should burn down the zoo. When we look for him, today we are looking for Mazen Nanakano. We can't find him anywhere. We can't see him. What are you doing? When Mazen Nanakano said burn down the zoo, there are so many ways to burn down the zoo. Burning down the zoo doesn't literally mean go and carry a gun and begin to shoot people. Burning down the zoo doesn't literally mean taking gun to go and shoot people. You can burn down the zoo by crippling the economy of the zoo in Biafra land. You can burn down the zoo by making that very Biafra land uncomfortable for the politicians. Making sure that the Janjaweed government will not get any revenue from Biafra land. Making sure that nothing in Biafra land is obeying the order of the Janjaweed. Those are the way to burn down the zoo. Put them on their knees. And that is the only way we can get our freedom. If you are a Biafran and you are still hoping on the court of your enemy, shame unto you. If you are a Biafran, you are hoping and waiting on the court of your enemy, shame on you. Shame on you. Because you don't know what you are doing. You don't know what you are doing. Freedom doesn't come easy and it's not given. It is taken. Freedom is taken. It's not given anywhere. Go and check everybody who have gotten their freedom. They fought for it. You have to fight for your freedom to get it. And unless we begin to be serious, unless we start fighting and be serious, we cannot get it. I applaud my brothers and sisters in Biafra land. They are doing something against all odds. Our brothers and sisters in Biafra land, continue to pray for them. Any place you are, continue to pray for our brothers and sisters in Biafra land. They are doing a great work. They are doing great in Biafra land. Against all odds. Against all intimidation, all the killing. They are standing strong and doing something that the whole world is seeing. Nobody is standing for them. Nobody is speaking for them. Nobody is reporting about their issue. But still they are fighting. The hypocrisy of the world is so much that is unbearable. When you look at what is happening in Ukraine, that is just a plain example. Today, the whole world is focused on Ukraine. The whole world is talking about Ukraine today, including the UK that have occupied Biafra land, the UK that used the caliphate to occupy Biafra land, and steal every resources we have. They are making noise today. Even when you saw them, their broker, they were saying that the Europe is going to rely on the gas. They want to rely on the gas that is coming from Biafra land because Russia will no longer give them gas. Now they are hoping to rely on the gas that is coming from Biafra land. And yet, they don't care about the people who are living in that area where the gas is. They don't care about the people who are living in that area where their resources is. Go and check one of their video, one of the video they made when they are making their conference. One of the countries they mentioned where they are going to hope to get their resources from is the continent called Nigeria. And when they talk of getting gas from Nigeria, from where? It's from Biafra land. From Biafra land. Every state in Biafra land have that gas. That is what they are hoping on. To survive them after Russia have cut away supply of gas. But the people who are living in that area where these resources is coming from, nobody is speaking about their matter. They have been invaded. They have been killed. Their lands taken over. Up to today, they are still being killed, bombed. Their houses are being bombed. Even the pollution that is happening there, nobody is talking about it. Nobody is doing anything. But they are busy. They have all their companies. UK have all their companies. The US have their companies. Other European countries have their companies over there. Serving their selfish interests. They don't care about you. Neither do they care about me. This is where we have found ourselves. And we must not continue in this path. Enough is enough. It's high time we wake up and speak up. Biafrans, we have to fight for ourselves. Nobody will fight for you anywhere. No man or woman will fight for you. If you refuse to fight for yourself, nobody will fight. Our freedom is in our hand. Our freedom is in our hand. We have to wake up and take it by force. We have to wake up and take it. Nobody is going to give it to us. Nobody. That is why we are calling for massive civil disobedience in Biafra land. A massive one. In this new dimension, do not look back. We are going to cripple the economy of the Janjaweed in Biafra land. Every oil production, we will cripple it. This is the right time for us to make something that the international community will feel. If we lose it now, if we miss this chance now, it will be very difficult. Now that the European countries are hoping on the gas in Biafra land, now that the European countries, they are hoping on the gas in Biafra land, because Russia will not give them gas anymore. They are hoping on gas in Biafra land. This is the time we will make them to begin to speak about the issue of Biafra. By crippling the production of gas in Biafra land. Every of their companies in Biafra land, every means that gas is going to flow, we will stop it. We will stop the flow of gas. This is an opportunity. Economic sanction we have been preaching against. This stage 3. This is the time we have to do it. The next dimension. This is the time. Every Biafran person have to take responsibility. Everybody have to take responsibility. It is your responsibility and my responsibility. Freedom is not being given, it is taken. And when you're fighting for your freedom, you leave no stone unturned. You leave no stone unturned. No politician is going to do it for you. No international community will do it for you. It is you and I that will do it. And as we are doing it, we are freeing Mazen Nandekano. Only you and I can free him. We have to make the Janjaweed know that it is costly, very costly, to keep Mazen Nandekano in captivity. And the time is now. The time to let them know that it is costly to keep Mazen Nandekano in captivity is now. This is the time. This is the opportunity. If we miss the opportunity now, it is going to be difficult. This opportunity now, where the whole world is focusing on Biafra land to get their gas, where the whole world is now focusing, you know that Russia is their highest supplier of gas in Europe. Russia is the highest. And now that Russia is at war, they have given Russian sanction that they're not going to buy their gas. They are hoping on the gas in Biafra land. That is what they want to use to support themselves for the meantime. And Biafrans, you are watching. It is our own time to tell them that enough is enough. Since they do not want to talk about the Biafra issue, they will not have our gas either. Since Britain and co. will not talk about Biafra issue, when you mention Biafra issue, United Nations, they walk away. This time around, we have to walk away from them. They cannot take that gas. They can't. Biafran people, we will not allow them. We will not allow them. This is an opportunity that every Biafran must have to cash into. And we will continue to fight until Biafra comes. Nobody is going to discourage you from it. Remember, freedom is not given, it is taken. And the kingdom of God suffereth violent, and only the violent take it by force. This is the time for us to take our freedom. Mazen Nandekano have created a wonderful platform for you and I. Mazen Nandekano has created a wonderful platform for us to get our freedom. Stop waiting for Mazen Nandekano in captivity to come and free you. It is you that will free Mazen Nandekano. Mazen Nandekano have done so much. If you are one of those who is waiting for command from Mazen Nandekano from DSS, you are a wicked man. If you are still waiting for Mazen Nandekano to come and free you from DSS, you are not planning to free Mazen Nandekano. You are still waiting for command from Mazen Nandekano from DSS. You are a wicked man. A man that has sacrificed everything sacrificable, gave his parents, gave his family, gave everything. You still want him to die because of you. You are a wicked soul. This is the time every Biafran have to rise up and fight the last battle to free Mazen Nandekano and to get our freedom. This is the time for us to fight, free Mazen Nandekano and get our freedom. He has done everything. Mazen Nandekano went to the extent of creating the Eastern Security Network, ESN, to protect you and I. What else do you expect Mazen Nandekano to do? What do you want him to do? Mazen Nandekano have given us peace. He has given us love. He has given us unity. He has united every Biafran people as Biafrans. He has went to give a handshake to our neighbors. He made the Oduduwa people to embrace Biafra. And the Oduduwas and Biafrans are standing up. He made the Middle Beltans to speak with Biafrans. He made Biafrans to have support around them. He established our support and relationship with the Ambazonia people. Mazen Nandekano have done every single thing he has to do for you and I before he was kidnapped. And today, you are still waiting from DSS to free you. You are a wicked man. If you're one of those, If you're one of those who refuse to engage in civil disobedience, if you're one of those who is talking down on people who are sitting at home on Monday and on Sunday, if you're one of those who is discouraging people who are fighting to make sure that Mazi Naira is being released, you are a wicked soul. And Chukwu, he will never forgive you. As long as you continue to fight against Mazi Naira, Chukwu will not forgive you. A man who has given you everything. He has given everything to us. He has sacrificed everything sacrificable, including his own life. And today, instead of you to stand up and speak up for the release of Mazi Naira, you think it's just business as usual. You think it's blabbing. When people are talking, you think we are just making noise. It is not noise making. You can call it noise making, but the responsibility of the freedom of Mazi Naira is in our hands. If anything happens to Mazi Naira, every single Biafran person will be held responsible. If anything happens to Mazi Naira in the DSS, we will be held responsible. Every Biafran will be held responsible. If anything happens to Mazi Naira, you and I will be held responsible. You don't have to blame anybody because we have refused to free him. If you're waiting for the court of the enemy to free Mazi Naira, you are an enemy. You are a wicked person. If you're still waiting on the politicians that you know that can never have truth in their mouth, you are an enemy. You are a wicked person. If you are one of those who is waiting for international community, you are wicked because you know that the double standard that this world is playing, that they will never come. You know that, I know it, that the double standard will not allow them to come. What they are facing is their selfish interest, their personal interest. They have interest. As long as we allow the mineral to continue to flow to them, as long as the caliphate is pumping the fuel to Britain, as long as the caliphate is continue to pump the fuel, pump the petroleum to the south, to the western world, they will continue to support the caliphate. That is why we have to stop that supply. We have to stop that supply, and the time is now. This is the opportunity. Now that the West are relying on that gas, this is the time, the opportunity for us to make sure there is no more supply of gas to them, so that they will be forced to talk about the issue of Biafra. That is the only way. That is the only way. It is your responsibility. It is my responsibility. Every one of us will put our hands on deck to do it. This is not the time to blackmail or time to talk against your brother. This is the time to focus on the real enemy. Focus on the real enemy. Stop demonizing your own brother. Identify yourself see yourself as a Biafran. Stop that name calling, attaching different kinds of name to yourself. Let us identify ourselves as Biafra. It doesn't matter wherever you, as long as you are from the old southeastern region, the present south and the southeast with the lower Benue, as long as you are from this area, as long as your grandmother is tying 2 pieces of wrapper, as long as your mother is tying 2 pieces of wrapper, you are from Biafra land. We are from one ancestral parents, and we have to see ourselves as one and continue to fight for that thing that is very common to us. Common interest. Our common interest, collective interest, our collective interest, which is freedom. When we get our freedom, we can come back home, every man to his tent. Then you can answer any name you want to answer. Stand as your own nation. Be who you want to be. Nobody's going to disturb you. But for now, the collective interest of the people is to have freedom. Let everyone rise up and put our hands on deck and continue to fight for that freedom. The time is now. There's no more time to waste. The time is now. If you're still sleeping, wake up. There's no more time to sleep. Wake up from your sleep. Wake up from your sleep and do the needful. You have seen that the Janjaweed have taken another dimension. They no longer allow Mazi Naira visit. They have intensified the torture on Mazi Naira. The torture have intensified. But when you look at the Biafran people, ask me, what are they doing? How have we intensified our own part? Every day you see the Janjaweed tightening their own system. Every day you see the Janjaweed increasing their own force. Every day you see the Janjaweed increasing their techniques. But in Biafra people, how are we increasing our own side? What are we doing? That is the question you have to ask yourself. Ask me and ask yourself. What are we doing? How are we changing our own narrative? How are we increasing the intensity? How are we making them feel the pain? As they are making us feel more pain, now they have increased the torture of Mazi Naira, increased the suffering of Mazi Naira, making us to feel more pain. How have we increased their own pain? How have we increased? We are supposed to intensify our own times 10. We are supposed to make them feel more pain times 10. That is why we are calling for this economic sanction on them. That is why we are calling for the sit at home to increase higher than ever. The time is now. It is you and I that will free Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. It is you and I that will take our freedom. Nobody will give us our freedom on the platter of gold. Hear this and hear it again. Freedom is not given, it is taken. We have to be ready to take our freedom, and the time is now. Thank you so much for watching wherever you are watching from. If you are watching from Biafra land, I say may Chukwu Okike Abiama guide and protect you. If you are watching from Biafra land, Chukwu Okike Abiama will guide and protect you. You will never lose your life. The Janjaweed will never see you and they will not take your life. No weapon formed of action against you shall prosper. If you are living in any part of the world and in Biafra, Chukwu Okike Abiama will protect you. You walk into Biafra with your foot and you celebrate in Biafra land. If you are from Oduduwa land and you are watching the video, you will celebrate in Oduduwa land and you walk into Oduduwa land with your foot. May Chukwu Okike Abiama guide and protect Sunday Igboho. Secure Sunday Igboho and give him freedom. May Chukwu Okike Abiama guide and protect our Sula Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Wherever Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is at this minute, may Chukwu Okike Abiama guide and protect Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Send doctors from above to continue to minister to him and secure him. Every poison that have been injected into the body of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, every distraction in the body of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, every attack in the body of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, Chukwu Okike Abiama will send spiritual doctors to continue to minister to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Give him more revelation so that very soon Mazen Nnamdi Kanu will appear again in a stronger form. He will be stronger than ever, more energetic than ever. No weapon formed or fashioned against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu shall prosper. Thank you so much for watching wherever you are watching from, and remember this, we must continue until Biafra come. And even after Biafra have come, we still have a lot of work to do to sensitize our people and take away the Janjaweed mentality that have occupied some of our brothers. Thank you for watching. See you again tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Oh, Mary, oh, Mary, do,